Hey guys, this is Arlo Gagestein, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 1 of the Dabbling in Discomfort podcast, where we strive to help you live a life outside of your comfort zone. I am very happy to have my good friend Jeff Moore, the Ginja Ninja, on the podcast today. Jeff is the founder and owner of Alpha Counseling here in Ogden, Utah, and Salt Lake, and where all are you? Everywhere.
So the original office is in Ogden, Salt Lake, Orem. We have an office in Tooele.
My goodness.
Yeah, and then we're in a couple halfway houses and jails also.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Very good. So Jeff has been a friend of mine for a very long time. He is also a Jiu-Jitsu black belt and my longest training partner, most consistent training partner. We've been training Jiu-Jitsu together for probably 14 years.
Yeah, when did
give
you
or
start?
take? 2007.
2000, and which is when because I guess we started training probably within the first year that.
Yeah, probably so.
Right, because we both had about a year under our belt, under
right.
our white belts.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. So Jeff, I'm excited to have him on the podcast because he too enjoys doing uncomfortable things and challenging himself. And I called Jeff up to see if he would join me for a little 4 a.m. run/hike and in the snow, and he was all over it. And so thank you, Jeff, for that.
Dude, I mean, I joined you for the tail end of a much bigger project that you had going. It's kind of like with a Ironman triathlon. I think that up until recently, when you do your 140 whatever miles, and then for the last lap, your family gets to walk across the finish line with you. That's kind of what this was.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
definitely. So the last 24 hours, I had a goal this year to do a project marathon. I got the idea several years ago from a guy on YouTube called Bo Miles, I believe it is. And I highly recommend following him. He does a lot of cool little documentaries, and he's a runner. But he did this 1 mile an hour marathon where for 24 hours, so he started out the first hour, he ran 3 miles and then did a mile every hour after that. And in between every mile, then he worked on projects, like he built oars and tables and fixed chairs, and he did all kinds of stuff. So I've been fascinated by that story for several years now, and thinking, I want to do it. And this year I committed to doing it, and it turned out by December I still hadn't really made much progress toward that, so I had to pull it off last minute before the end of the year. But that's what I've been up to.
What time did you start yesterday?
So I started at 5 a.m. So I don't know what time it is now. It's like 5:30 or something. So a little over 24 hours ago is when I started.
Dang. Why'd you want to do that? Besides watching this Bo guy. So Bo did something that's cool, but
that was the main thing. He was inspirational.
It's like monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, pretty much. No, and also I like to challenge myself, definitely. I like to find different challenges that I think will stretch me a little bit, and running is definitely one of those things. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there's not a lot of running in jiu-jitsu. Like in our sport, we literally lay on the ground. Right? We literally lay on the ground, and people try and beat us up. So we don't travel very far.
It's like the lazy man sport.
The lazy man sport, absolutely. Yeah. So, yes, not a lot of running, and it definitely showed. Bo ran every mile, and I walked some of them.
Was Bo going during the snow?
He was not. No, he has this beautiful. He lives in Ireland, and he has this there's an aerial shot of his block, and it's exactly 1 mile, and it's all green and beautiful and flat.
So he had some pretty cool conditions.
Yeah. Yep. But still, he definitely accomplished a lot more because he ran faster.
Sure.
But it's all good. So like I mentioned before, Jeff really enjoys doing hard things. He's done a lot of Ragnar races, and he does jiu-jitsu. He lifts consistently. He's the most disciplined person I think I've ever met as far as lifting weights. So so we always joke about how people frequently like want that quick fix program to make them look all ripped, when in reality it's like 20 years of consistency that gets you where you are today.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Right.
Yeah, they want to like, oh, just take this supplement.
For sure.
Get shredded.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then Jeff's always the guy I can count on to join me in crazy shenanigans. So I was going to ask you, what is your favorite or your most memorable crazy adventure that you've ever done?
Easily that Summit and Submit tournament.
The Summit and Submit.
Absolutely.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like with Dave was commenting on it. He says like, you guys bring that up a lot. It's like,
right.
Yeah. It's true.
It is true.
I think he's wishing that he could have come along for the ride.
Yeah.
But dude, like honestly, man, like packing. So I mean, for the podcast listeners, we, Arlo can tell the story in more detail, but basically we had a jiu-jitsu tournament close to the highest peak in Utah. We hauled mats, a good 10 or 11 miles.
Yeah, I think so.
Up to like right below where the peak is, at King's Peak. And had like the most epic jiu-jitsu tournament up there. Beautiful.
Oh, for sure.
It smelled so much better up there than it does in like a martial arts
That
gym.
is so true.
Yeah. And then, pitched tents, then hiked up to the top of the peak the next morning, and then climbed down. And I'm leaving out the sheer agony and discomfort and how much longer, and 85, 90 pound packs digging into our shoulders and hauling jiu-jitsu mats that are kind of cumbersome.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that like, it's probably one of the hardest things juxtaposed with like amazing and beautiful and epic all at once. So that easily stands out.
Yeah.
To me.
For me as well.
You too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, you did it twice though.
I did. The second one, man, that was wild. So I don't remember if I'm sure we've talked about the second time. So the second time we hiked in, same deal, carried mats up there, and we were just getting ready. I think we may have spent one night. Anyway, the next morning, or maybe we didn't even spend the night yet. I can't remember. It's been quite a while ago, but we're just getting ready, laying out the mats, getting ready for our jiu-jitsu tournament, and some guy comes wandering up asking if we have any burn cream. And we're like, maybe, we'll check our first aid kit. He's all, oh, good, thanks. My buddy burned himself. And so we searched through our stuff. We found some burn cream. We went over there, and this guy literally has flesh falling off of his leg.
Oh.
Like, it was wild.
What happened?
So he was lighting a fire, and he had a bottle of white gas that he thought was pretty close to empty. And so naturally, he's using it to help start the fire.
Oh.
And he is trying to shake out the last little bit of white gas onto the fire. And there's more in than he expects, and it ignites in his hands. And when something in your hands catches fire, you drop it, right?
Yeah.
And
as you do.
He dropped the bottle right on his legs, and it spilled everywhere and just burned him, like second and third degree burns all over this guy's legs.
Falling off?
Yeah, it was gross. It was nasty. Like, our burn cream wasn't going to do
cream?
anything.
Yeah. Is there like a sunburn? Or like,
right.
Or like you touched an iron or something.
So we... So he obviously needed medical attention, and him and his buddy decided they were going to hike out. And so we packed up all our stuff and followed him out, and just called the tournament right there. We never even rolled up there, but we're like, if he goes into shock, he's going to need help, right? So
yeah, I don't know.
So we followed him out, and we were probably 9 or 10 miles in, and he made it. He hiked out all the way. So, but yeah, it didn't turn out quite as good as the year before.
Yeah. Oh, did you lost your video?
Oh, it's all good.
Okay.
No worries. Probably battery died, but as long as the sound's still good. So,
man, that like with that when we went up there, there were moments where, because I mean the part I'm leaving out too is I'd rolled my ankle like 12 times.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I just remember thinking like, I'm gonna feel like such a sissy if they have to life flight me out of here, you know. And then we thought we got lost. Man, it was a hell of a trip, man.
It was absolutely.
Yep.
So, so Jeff joins me for a lot of weird and exciting adventures, but it's not just me. He does stuff on his own too. I remember a story, and you'll have to, maybe I'll let you tell it, but something about a road trip where you and a bunch of other guys rolled up the windows and turned on the heater coming from like Vegas to Ogden or something. I don't remember. Yeah,
that was just, it was
just to see who could last the longest.
Yeah. It just became like a test of will. So we just dripping wet, just miserable, mid-July, heat cranked all the way up, just blasting. Just, that, like, for no good reason other than like, you'll quit before I do.
Yeah.
Getting out at the gas station just soaked. Like,
it
looks like
nice.
We got in a swimming pool. The hell did you guys come from?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. And so you didn't give up first.
No,
right?
Clearly not.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely
of course.
Yeah.
So kind of along that lines, testing yourself, challenging yourself for whatever reason. There's got to be a reason, right? Why we challenge ourselves physically or mentally. Why do you suppose we do that?
Well, I was thinking about it even when we were just up there, and in a way, we have the luxury of not having to fight for survival. Every moment of the day, like, I have a pretty cush life.
Right.
I have a house that has, air conditioning and, a fridge full of food, and, it's no one to date has tried to break into my house and murder me or take my food or take my wife. Like, I have a job that's fulfilling. I'm pretty comfortable, man.
Yeah.
So it's like a very first world thing to be like, I need to make things harder. But I feel that inside me, man. It's like it's too easy to get soft and to fall into the comfort. And I don't know, I just see, I'm like, so many people just sort of have this sedentary and like apathetic almost approach to life.
Right.
And, lots of people they're comfortable. So I see this as a therapist, and I see this just as like somebody observing stuff in society that, like, a lot of people are really comfortable, but yet depression and anxiety are higher than ever, and a big reason for that some people talk about is that people don't have like a lot of purpose or meaning, and like back in the day, like hunter-gatherer days, like everybody had a role in society, and we had, tribes of maybe 100 people, and like everybody had a role.
Yeah.
And whether that's, you're literally hunting, you're gathering, you're taking care of this, taking care of that. And life was hard though, and it was hard and it was brutish. And technology's done a lot to ease things up. We're living beyond the age of 35 now, and like cool things. but like a lot of people, they don't get that same thing out of their job. They don't feel the purpose, they don't feel the meaning, and things just kind of, you fall into a day in, day out, go to work, grab some fast food on the way home, plop down on the couch, watch Netflix until I doze off, wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, grab fast food on the way home, sit on the couch, watch Netflix, lather, rinse, repeat, just again and again and again. I think that I can feel it in me that, like, when things sort of shock the system, it snaps me out of that muted existence. It makes me want to like do stuff.
Nice.
And and so doing something hard, something that, like, I have no good logical reason for joining you today. For like setting my alarm for the witching hour, 3 a.m.
Right.
Yeah, and getting up, splashing some water on my face, and then hauling out to meet you at the golf course and run through the snow. Like, what the hell? Like, I have no good reason to do that. And when you ask me to do it, my first thought is like, in the middle of the night, it's cold, and I don't want to do that. And right when I had that thought, I'm like, I need to do that. I need to do that. And that's why I end up joining you on all these things, is because, like, I hear the inner sissy in my head being like, stay home, pull the covers over your body, no need to get it out, like, stay in your sweats.
Right.
Just that alarm goes off, and it's like, Arlo's he's gonna finish it regardless. He doesn't need me. That voice needs to shut the hell up. And that's why I come and do these things, man.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
What about you?
Why
do you do stuff like that? Because you're the one that, like, I'm just like along for the ride for a lot of this. Like, whether it's, Mace getting me doing the Ragnars or Spartans, or, a buddy talking to me in a jiu-jitsu tournament, or, you are usually the culprit for most of the hard stuff I end up doing. Like, but I know why I say yes, but why do you have the thought to do it?
That is a great question.
I'm the one asking the questions.
I don't know.
Not flip mode on you, bro. Not just interviewing me.
I mean,
yeah.
I like to see what I'm capable of, I guess, and I like to make myself uncomfortable. I think it is way too easy to get complacent, and I don't like how I feel when I realize that I'm complacent. Like, it's easy to sit back and go through life and be comfortable, and it's easy for time to just fly by in that zone, but I don't like it. Like, I like to stretch myself a little bit, and I like to feel challenged. I think I mentioned Cambodia on our hike, and something that I'll always remember, like, when we were there, it was probably 100 degrees and the humidity was 100%. Like, it was miserable.
Wow.
And the leader on that trip said, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be hot, but the people that are here live like that every single day. You're here for 2 weeks. Like, wow. you can suck it up. And I guess I look around at how my grandparents grew up on the farm. Like, they're up at 5 a.m. every single day, working all day long just to eke out an existence, right? Just to survive. And we've lost so much of that. And it's hard for me to look at my own comfortable life compared to, and maybe you're not supposed to compare yourself to other people. I hear that all the time, but to see how other people live, and how it's a nonstop struggle day in, day out, from the second they wake up till they crash in bed at night, just to survive. And maybe I feel a little guilty even. But
totally. Was it like you just said, in Cambodia, you're complaining about 100-degree, 100% humidity weather, and like, oh, this is a good challenge, but that's just life for them, dude. Right. Yeah, and like you said, like your grandparents, the same type of thing. Like, I mean, that yeah, I don't know. I'm very grateful for the life that I live.
Right.
And having a nice warm house, and not having to fight for survival. I don't want to have to fight for survival, but
I want to be capable of it if I have to.
That's it, man. Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel guilty too, man.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of too easy.
Right.
But, and again, like, I don't do this to stave off depression and anxiety, but again, like, when I talk to my clients about this, like, I try to encourage them, like, find something to do, find something hard, and make yourself do it. yeah, you don't have time. Yeah, you don't have this. Just do it anyway. Just make yourself do it. And in the rare time that they actually end up following through and doing it, and someone actually does challenge themselves and do, yeah, I'll have to think about that, bro. Like when the person actually does it, like invariably they come back and they're glad they did it.
Right. Yeah. I can't think of any time that I've challenged myself that I've regretted it afterwards.
You're like, oh man, I should have stayed home.
Yeah. Like you always feel better after you, like part of it's the sense of accomplishment, I guess.
Yeah. Over yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Over that desire to pull the covers over your head and stay in bed and hit snooze. Yeah, that victory, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, because look, you ran 30 miles over the course of a day today. And you've ran 26 miles all at once before. You know, you've done, what was that other one you did? The one you did with your wife?
Yeah. So there,
you've done some other endurance races.
Right. So we did a 50K together, which is like 31 miles or something too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you've done all these things, and so it's not like you haven't achieved before. And honestly, if you didn't do this 24-hour project marathon today, anybody that knows you would not be like, wow, Arlo chickened out or he sissied out, but you would know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You would know. You would know that 2021 came and went. You told yourself you were going to do it and you didn't.
And I did not.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pushes me a lot.
Yeah.
With things. It's
yeah, me too.
Because I've had times where I have, it's not often, but I'll admit, like there's been times where it's like I'll set out to do something or I'll set a goal, and the instant gratification of being a slob wins out, and I don't do the thing, and I hate that side of me. You know? I want to make myself do it.
Right.
Like my wife and I, we set a goal. So again, this isn't like some epic goal, but for 2021, we both said that we were going to do 15,000 squats.
Yeah.
You know, works out to be something around 50, a little less than 50 a day, which isn't a lot, but it's like, if you don't stay consistent with it day in, day out, you know, you start out like gangbusters in January of 2021, you know, but July, August creeps around and it's easy to just kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
So like things like that, just the discipline of, you know, I'll wake up, you know, I'll work out, I'll forget to have done my squats. Like today I haven't done my squats yet. There's a good chance that once my day gets going, I mean, it might be 9-10 p.m. tonight. I'm laying down, ready to go to bed, and then I'll have the thought, God, I didn't do my squats. And I have to get out of bed, knock out 50 squats. It's not hard. I barely even get breathing hard doing 50 squats, but it's just making myself do it.
Right.
Just like, I'm not going to not, like, get out of bed, sissy, and I make myself do it.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you a few years back that Angie, my sister, and I decided in January that we were going to do leg cranks once a week for the entire year?
Oh my God.
And there were a lot of Saturday nights at 11 o'clock where I'm like, oh, but and I did it. And the best part, and I don't know if she's forgiven me or not, but we got to the end of the year and I realized that there was a little bit of a miscommunication, and really it was just a lack of clarifying. And I had been doing 1 round of leg cranks every week, and she had been doing 4.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So she quadrupled my effort, and it was, man, I don't know.
How long did she keep that up for?
The whole year.
Wow.
Yep. 52 times she did it throughout the year.
Y'all didn't realize it until the end?
No.
What does she say?
Oh, she was, yeah. She was a little disappointed that I had only been doing 1 round all year. But
there's a big difference between like 1 set of leg cranks and 4 sets. That's a complete game. Like 1 set, you feel it in your legs. They're shaky.
Right.
Second, third, fourth Saturday. Yeah, well, good for her. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
funny though.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I laughed and she was upset. But
Well, so you and I are pretty physically oriented. And a lot of the stuff we do to challenge ourselves have to do with that. Like, have you thought about finding other ways to challenge yourself? Or are you mainly thinking of sticking to physical ways?
A little bit. So I mean, I do stupid little things, like I always eat left-handed, and I taught myself how to write left-handed, and I don't know, just dumb stuff like that. But
Why?
just for the challenge.
Yeah, just to do it.
Yeah.
Do you
And in
always
case
eat left-handed?
I ever need to go incognito, I can pretend I'm somebody else.
Yeah. Well, that looks like Arlo, but he's eating left-handed. It can't be him. Yeah.
No, I pretty much always do eat left-handed. Yeah.
Because
So
of
I
that.
guess it wouldn't be so I guess everybody would know anyway. But I watched a show years and years ago about, they were like people from they were in a concentration camp, or they had escaped from a concentration camp, and they totally changed their appearance, where they had to train their hair to part on the other side and stuff, so they looked different. That just kind of stuck with me. And I'm like, well, I'm going to learn how to do everything left-handed.
Yeah. You never know.
I don't have enough hair to part, but
Yeah. That's cool. Do you have other stuff, or is that like kind of just random things just to make things a little bit harder?
just random things to make things a little bit harder.
You'll take the stairs.
Yeah. Yep. And I've always I've always done things the hard way, and it drives my wife crazy, and it does. And I remember growing up too, my mom would give me a hard time about always doing things the hard way.
Oh,
I'm
right.
like, well, yeah, but it's kind of who I am.
Everyone just thinks you're stupid.
Yeah,
No,
pretty
dude,
much.
It's easier just
Yeah.
to do it this way.
Why are you doing it like that? Well, I don't know.
Why are you insisting on carrying all the groceries in at once? Just make 3 trips. No. Yeah. Carrying them all.
It was kind of fun. So one of my miles yesterday, I ended up having to bring my son and his friend to Syracuse to the Rush Funplex. So my son and his cousin, they went to spend the day there having fun. And I ended up driving them when it's like a 25-minute drive. I'm supposed to run on every hour on the hour, right? And so I finish my mile and I book it out there with them, and we get there like 10 minutes after I'm supposed to start running. Yeah. So I parked in the parking lot, and they went inside, and then I started running from there. And I ran over to Walmart because there were a couple things I needed for some of my projects.
Yeah.
And so I'm like a half mile from my car at Walmart, and I carried all my stuff up without a cart to the cash register, and the cashier kept being like, "Are you gonna carry all that? Can I get you a cart?" I'm like, she has no idea. My car's nowhere close. Like, if I take a cart, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of funny. I'm like, no, I'm carrying them. So.
That's funny.
But
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So you were telling me on our hike today that you actually prepared lessons for your clients on challenging themselves.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, so the other business owner and I, we created a curriculum for basically for all of us to kind of be on the same page with the treatment assignments that we're delivering to the clients, and most of them have to do with like risk management, or ways of managing emotions, and ways of handling stress without resorting to like sex, drugs, rock and roll, the whole bit. But like one of the things was the value of challenging yourself, and it's specifically what we're talking about. And when I was talking about people in society like living in this comfortable existence, and that for some people it feels like they don't really have a purpose or a meaning or like a direction, something. They work a job that it puts food on the table, but it's not something they're passionate about. It's a means to an end. Any, I mean, and I'm not talking bad about any particular job, but there's lots of jobs, especially with guys that maybe have felony on their record, and they're getting jobs doing like production, or they're working at the dog food plant, and or at like a call center or something. Not jobs that you plan on being like your career, and
right.
And they'll bust their butt for a paycheck, and come home, and maybe it might be the day they have treatment with me, or they'll oftentimes their relationship status is on the rocks, and so they might not always have very many people in their lives, and they kind of just go home and they'll watch TV and wake up in the morning and do it all over again. And the problem with that is that when people feel like their day-to-day doesn't really have a point, it's easy for things like depression and anxiety to rise to the surface.
Yeah.
And since I work with it's forensic social work, I work with people that have gotten in trouble with the law for whatever. When people get bored, or they feel like they don't really have anything real exciting in their life, so a lot of times they'll make excitement, and that's what gets them into trouble.
Right.
That's where they'll relapse on drugs. That's when they'll look at stuff on the computer they shouldn't look at, and these different things, and they have a hard time answering well, why shouldn't I do that? Like, I get
right.
Like, okay, so I don't go back to jail. I mean, it's a good reason for most people. Like, okay, I won't get high, so I don't go back to jail. But over the course of months, days, or days, months, years, not doing something just because you don't want to go back to jail just isn't enough. You have to have a better why.
Yeah. Right.
You have to have something else that grabs you, and like, so I encourage them to do something challenging, pick something hard, and I kind of tell them ahead of time that they're going to have excuses pre-programmed into their heads. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't know how to do this. That all the same excuses that I'm sure people have told you as to why they can't start a workout program.
Right.
And I try to cut it off at the pass by saying, like, everybody runs into the same time constraints. We all have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Okay, you have kids. Okay, well, let's get creative. Find a way to do something. And again, me being physically oriented, the way I teach when I'm teaching this particular group, I'll go for a hike, set, do as many push-ups as you can, and then then train in a month, come back and try to beat it. Things like that appeal to me. But of course, not everybody is physically capable, and so it's like, let's say that in the next 6 months you're gonna develop a working knowledge of Spanish. Take an art class and try to get good at art.
Nice.
Like whatever it is, it's just something that takes somebody out of their comfort zone. Maybe something they're good at but they don't have time to do, or maybe something they suck at that they want to get better. Learn to change the oil in your car.
Right.
Like things like that. And even when I make it a part of the curriculum, it's still tough to get buy-in from people. And because I'll be talking to them like you and I are talking, and they'll like, oh yeah, it's a good idea, I need to do that, and then that's as far as it goes with a lot of people.
Right.
I just don't. They haven't been bit by whatever bug it is that's bitten both of us to get it,
Right.
Because do you get that? Like, you try to get people to see what the value of challenging yourself brings to you, and it's tough to communicate to people that don't get it.
Right.
I haven't figured, but you because you have people that seek you out specifically to add challenge to their life. And people that come and talk to me, my clients, a lot of them are being told to come and talk to me because a court said so.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know if there's a difference there or not, but with you having people that come and seek you out, Do you try to pitch that to them, or are you able to get people to?
A lot of times they come to me and they already have something in mind what they want to accomplish.
Okay.
So it's kind of easy for me that way. Like
they're coming pre-motivated.
Yes, yeah.
You know, like right now, someone the someone we're thinking about is probably asleep, but there's going to be somebody that is going to wake up and they're going to get ready to take their shower. They're going to take their clothes off. They're going to see themselves in the mirror and, oh God, I need to work out. Okay, 2022, January 1st, 2022, I'm starting something new. I'm going to call that Arlo dude. And so you're going to have somebody call you.
Right.
Ready to change and ready to do things.
Yeah.
Do you throw this kind of concept at them?
I try to.
Do you? Mm-hmm. So what do you do if someone's like not oriented towards that? Like,
so
if it was like a listener, someone listening to this is like not really getting what we're talking about, but maybe they're curious. How would you start them out?
I try and encourage them to find something that'll stretch them a little bit, that'll pull them a little bit out of their comfort zone. Whether it's like they've never run a 5K, and so I'm like, okay, sign up for one 2 or 3 months from now, and you're going to do it. Awesome. But you almost have to get them to commit to something, because then once they're committed, then they have to follow through, right? Or they could just skip the race, but most of them, once they sign up, they'll follow through. But if it's just kind of a vague, I'd like to do this sometime, then it's probably not going to happen.
It'll never happen.
It has to be specific. It has to be timely. You've heard of SMART goals, right? So it's specific. It's what's the M? Oh, measurable. Yep, attainable, realistic, and then timely. You have to put a timeline on it. So we try and help people to identify something, a SMART goal, and then really to dive into why am I setting this goal? What is it that when I'm not motivated anymore, what is it that's going to keep me disciplined to do it? Because motivation comes and goes, right? You need to just be disciplined to really make any progress. So there has to be a why, like, okay, this is what I want. Why is it that I want this? So I'll have people that are coming to me to get back in shape. But if it's just vague, I want to get back in shape, I want to lose some weight, then they probably won't be around long. But if they want to be able to keep up with their grandkids and they're having trouble keeping up playing with their grandkids, that's a pretty powerful why. And so it's easier to get them to commit to really making a change if the why is powerful enough.
That's creative, man. Like because when I'm thinking about a why, I'm kind of staying like physical attainment, but like most people aren't interested in being meatheads. They want to just live their life, and so being able to keep up with my grandkids is a tangible, realistic goal that they'll know. They'll know if they're making progress because they'll be able to chase their grandkids around and or whatever it is, roughhouse with them, whatever it is that no, that's big, because you were talking about the relationship between motivation and discipline. Yeah. And motivation is what happens when the dude we were just talking about strips his clothes off, sees himself in the mirror. Oh God. And thinks, I need to call Arlo. But like, so January 1st, you have some new client walking in your gym and has maybe the obscure goal of, I want to lose some weight, and you can get him on a program, but like once April rolls around, right? Like,
if he makes it that
far, that fire in his belly is going to be gone.
Right.
Yeah. It would be nice if you could harness motivation. Yeah. And if you could if you could treat it like a light switch, where it's like, okay, boom, okay, I'm fired up. It never works that way.
If we could sell that,
you'd be a rich man. So you have to rely on discipline. Right. And that's where the SMART goals come in, right? So it's like, okay, I want to run a 5K. Isn't that an option at the Ogden Marathon?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
It's okay. I want to run a 5K at the Ogden Marathon. I know that's in May. I'm going to do that by, running. I'm going to start out running 2 times a week for the next 3 weeks, and then I'll up it to 3 times a week, so on and so forth. until I'm able to, and like you can develop a goal that way.
Yeah.
And then why? Well, why do I want to be able to run a 5K? And I mean, again, that's going to depend on the person. But if they have that answer, then as they're training, on February 3rd, when their alarm goes off and it's snowing out and the covers are warmer and more soft than normal, that they don't hit snooze, that they lace up their running shoes and get out the front door.
Yeah.
You have to have a why.
Definitely.
And that's what adds the passion and the purpose to people's lives. I mean, like, obviously doing a 5K isn't going to solve everybody's problems, but what it does is it gives a person a sense of like, hey, I did something.
Yeah.
I did something besides just come home after work and watch Netflix.
Right.
I've got something to push towards, and it's hard. And then they get it, and they do their 5K, and they get that feeling of crossing the finish line and the little medal that you get. Maybe they get it posted on social media.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool.
And a lot of times that'll drive their hunger for more too. Like, and then they may set bigger goals, and
it's like it builds momentum.
Yeah, it builds momentum and gets them headed down the right track.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I think we should probably wrap this up. Thanks again so much for coming on the show.
I was glad I was able to be a part of your initial first podcast one.
Yeah. We'll probably have you back many times.
More than happy to do it. Yeah.
Where can people find out more about what you do and about Alpha Counseling?
All right.
Utah's Best, right?
Yeah, it's the modestly titled utahsbesttherapy.com.
Nice. Very good.
Yep, utahsbesttherapy.com, and Alpha Counseling and Treatment. And if you want to check out another podcast in the realm of what I do, Guerrilla Social Work Podcast. That's GUERRILLA, that type of guerrilla social work podcast.
Nice.
Where you have been a guest a couple times.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.